My name is Emily. I am the Crazy Flippin' Mom. Welcome back to my channel. I am excited today to show you how FlashPricer is changing the repricing game on Walmart. They just launched Yo-Yo Pricing, which is a way to test upward pricing in the Walmart buy box, Amazon too. This is extremely important in Q4 because we know price tanking happens a lot. They have launched this new strategy that can help you win the buy box across the nation, and I am going to break it down for you now. Before we get into it, if you are unfamiliar with winning the buy box on Walmart, it looks a lot different than Amazon, and that is because Walmart is regional, not national like we see on Amazon. So Amazon, their buy box is nationwide, where Walmart, it is really based on your zip code. This is why when you are searching for a product locally, a grocery product for yourself, maybe you put in your zip code and it is out of stock, right? Because Walmart is not going to ship it from themselves in their Florida store to me in Iowa. That is where third-party sellers come in. So that means the buy box across the nation is dependent on zip code. Yes, prices are different, varying depending on where you live. Walmart does not pick one buy box nationwide. Instead, it looks at buyers based on their zip code and assigns buy box winners by region. This is what that means. In region A, somebody is priced at $45 cheaper than you lose the buy box. In regions B, C, D, the competitive landscape can look completely different. Maybe in these regions, you are tied for the lowest price and you can get your product to the buyer quicker. You are winning the buy box. This is where FlashPricer's new Yo-Yo strategy comes in clutch. FlashPricer is an AI-powered repricer for Amazon and Walmart, but for the sake of today's conversation, I am going to look at how it's affecting my sales on Walmart. Yes, I'm a real customer. So let's look at how Yo-Yo pricing is going to help you win the buy box and make more money. But before we do that, let's talk about how this differs from traditional repricing. Traditional repricers mainly are focusing on winning the buy box by lowering your price. FlashPricer's Yo-Yo Repricer is looking at upping your price across different regions in time intervals. This is a great method on your listings in the holiday season that are moving fast. You can pull reports on SKUs and see in their system how in 30-minute intervals, how you are getting more money on different SKUs and how it's positively affecting your sales. I think this is where in retail arbitrage and wholesale, this can be extremely effective because one, repricing manually takes so much time and we don't really see the possibility across the region because it is based on the zip code. And right now we can't see, okay, if I'm selling a backpack here in Iowa for $12, maybe I could be selling it in Florida for $19 to $20. And if you have a huge catalog like I do, you really don't have the time to start practicing this theory out in real time, changing, updating your prices. So this is where this repricer can come in and start testing those ideas out for you in the background, and you can just see profit. This also really leans into the idea that we really don't know the ceiling price for our listings across the country. We are testing it out. We do want the highest price, but when you get on a Walmart listing, sometimes you're not seeing all the inventory that's coming in, how fast the listing is moving. Maybe all the lower sellers are selling out quickly. You just see, okay, it looks like $12. But in the meantime, you could be pushing that price up and really finding what the price ceiling is of that SKU. And this is where that profit is missing for a lot of people. We tend to compete with who we see right now, which these listings are moving, you know they're moving quickly, and it's hard to keep this inventory in stock. Turn on Yo-Yo pricing and it's going to push the boundary and see what that margin could possibly be on these listings while you're sleeping. I'm going to show you how to turn this on in your catalog and what it looks like. In seconds, you can have this working in your favor. So let's get into it. Going to show you how easy it is to set up this Yo-Yo pricing on SKUs you think it would be beneficial for. I am in my FlashPricer account. I come into strategies and click new strategy here, and then you can see all of the options depending on if you are Amazon or Walmart reseller or private label. I'm going to click Walmart and let's set up
Now we continue on. You can see here we have AI options coming soon. I'm excited about that. And if you are unfamiliar with setting up this repricer and you're starting from scratch, I'm going to link my video below that I go through these options and another video from FlashPricer that dives into a little bit more if you are looking for a specific strategy. But you can see right here is the new yo-yo pricing option. Spiraling up, you can decide how often this is happening. And also, I think this is a great way to test, can I price higher and still make sales without actually going and manually doing it? And also, if it doesn't work, it's just going to turn off. If you test this out on multiple SKUs, you can see what SKUs this was effective and what SKUs it really didn't make that much of a difference. So I'm going to say every 90 minutes. We can add, subtract, jump to highest price in the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and set our minimum. We can also pick between percentage or dollar amounts. Then we are going to tell the repricer to set it at this price, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 45 minutes, and test it out for us. Then we are going to continue adding our max and mins. You can do multiple different strategies here, calculate on your ROI, profit margin, or fixed profit. Once you review your strategy and launch, you can easily put this on SKUs in your FlashPricer catalog and start testing this out in real time.
We are, as sellers in the volume game, especially in the holiday season, we want to move. I never want to lose the buy box. It's difficult to know what that means a little bit more on Walmart because there's so many things happening based on zip code that we just don't know and we can't see. This is why I think sellers tend to start losing margin and not really paying attention to their bottom line until it's too late and you realize you lost a lot of profit. Because even though we want to move product, listen, margin matters. I want to give you some best practices moving forward so you don't blindly jump into this and feel completely lost, especially if you've never used a repricer before. Your margin matters, your money matters, protecting that at all costs, knowing the fees on these platforms, so important. So before you just click some buttons, make sure you educate yourself on how much you're being charged on the front end, and let's talk about some best practices on the back end. I wouldn't use the yo-yo strategy on every SKU that you have. I would test it out with SKUs you think that could benefit from something like this. I'm going to use the holiday seasonal ones where I think I could be winning more buy box time across the country and making profit. I probably would stay away from listings that there's too much competition, because something like this that's raising the price on a listing where there is 100 sellers, I don't think that's going to do any favors. You're going to pretty much lose the buy box because there are so many options on that listing for the buy box to pull from. I am going to pick a listing that, one, is actually moving consistently every day, but also isn't inundated with 100 sellers. I would also look in FlashPricer in their catalog. They have a section where you can pull reports on a SKU level and see your sales at the price point it's selling at. So you can quickly monitor and see, okay, at this point, I sold this unit for $24, and then you can see the yo-yo pricer working, and I was able to sell the next unit for $29. And then I actually lost the buy box for 3 hours. You can start monitoring that and see if it's worth it for you or if you're just kind of like losing sales over time. But monitoring these, this is why just picking a couple SKUs at the beginning, monitoring and seeing exactly what SKU is going to work the best for this strategy, I think is really important. Automation AI has changed my life. I'm sure it's changed yours. And that is what is beautiful about FlashPricer, but it still doesn't mean you can list it, set it, forget it, and move on with your life. I really like to monitor this. That is the difference. When before FlashPricer, I was manually doing everything, and now I'm monitoring everything. And that is a huge difference, you know. Last, but certainly not least, and probably most important, is if you want this repricer to work at peak performance, you need to be inputting your costs completely. Everything you need to add to that. And listen, I know this is a no-brainer, but you would be surprised how many people I talk to and I'm like, what is your cost on this product? And they're like doing this addition in their head, and I know they're missing things. They're missing taxes, time, poly bags, prep. all of it. You need to know your end of day costs. So this is pricing, giving you the best foot forward and helping you not just win more sales, win more profit. And to win more profit, net profit, you need to know your all-in costs. Another reason I enjoy using FlashPricer is it keeps me right on my money. I am making sure I add in all of my costs as soon as I buy it because it's just a little bit easier for me to track those things. As soon as I add it to my Walmart catalog, it's pulled over to FlashPricer, and then FlashPricer notifies me, hey, add in your costs. It takes me seconds, and it's just something that like keeps me right, keeps me motivated. It's easy for me to remember to do that. This holiday season, I am really focused on not just winning the buy box and making all the sales. And if you followed me for a while, you know that I get a lot of FOMO, YOLO, all the other OLOs, and I dive way into the deep end of shipping hundreds of orders. And I'm really focused on margins this year. And FlashPricer has really helped me the most in my limited time. And so I'm kind of all in on this. I love it. I want you to test this out for yourself. That is why I have a code below to give you a free trial. Set it up, talk to their team, make sure you're right. If you need some extra help and support, they're here for you. You can test the Yo-Yo strategy and guarantee it's going to boost your sales. That's like 100% guarantee, but also play around with the Yo-Yo Repricer, grab a couple SKUs, see what it does. I want to know if you can make more profit on a SKU level. That's amazing. Thank you for watching this, liking this video, sharing it with friends you think it could be helpful for. Try out FlashPricer. Let me know below what you think. Keep flipping smart and keep those margins high, babe. Until next time.